Okay, hello. Welcome back. Today, I will try to finally finish the Fontaine Archon Quest, the 4.0 Archon
You should
Quest.
really bring the Knights of Favonius with you next time.
Shut up, D-Luke. So, I want to finish it because for 4.1, the 4.1 trailer just dropped, and I don't really want to be too far behind on the story. I haven't even done Linny's story quest yet, and I hopefully will get to that next week. But this week, I just want to focus on the main Archon quest. So, as you can see, I have my preferred party, exploring party here, and I'm here for the event. What's it called? Yeah, this one, the camera event. But I'll get to that some other time. Now, I have been avoiding Fontaine since the last Genshin Impact stream because I'm afraid of like accidentally starting the quest. But now I don't have to be afraid, and we can just start. Fontaine looks really pretty at night, actually. Move, pigeon. So pretty. Anyway, let's go. Who are we supposed to meet here?
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
Oh, right, the voice.
Looks like we're back here again.
Oh, right, I also haven't, like, because I've been avoiding Fontaine, I haven't, collected the rewards from the fountain yet. I have to remind myself to do that later.
Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
Since when do I not?
Ugh, that's kinda spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
I mean, if you want it to be morning, you can just change it to morning, Paimon.
Vache.
No one's stopping you.
Vache.
Vache?
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
I mean, it's Fontaine. I expect something in the water at this point. In the last stream, like the first part of the Archon Quest, we found out that the Fontainian women the missing women have been turned into water. So, who knows? They could be part of the fountain right now.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kinda hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right?
I think this isn't the first time Paimon's heard what we've heard. Finally, Paimon, you can hear the voices in our head too.
Hey, traveler! Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Do you think it's the previous Hydro Archon? Like how we could hear... Oh. Anyway, before you continue with this, do you think the voice or like this Oceanid is the previous Hydro Archon? Like how the traveler could hear Rukkhadevata early on during the Sumeru Archon quest? What is this voice?
Vache. Are you my dear Vache?
Sorry to disappoint, but no.
No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
Sorry, who are you?
Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know.
This isn't the Oceanid that we fight in Chingsa, right? Because I hate that Oceanid.
My memories feel like
And
they
I
have
would not
been
want to help
washed
her.
away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered.
Oceanid, question mark? Are you okay?
How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten?
Oh. So if this Oceanid was once human, could it be one of the Fontainian girls that were turned into water? I guess, yeah, Oceanids are made of water. Makes sense
Yes,
that
that
these...
is what I was
No.
once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who is lost, therefore.
Could the Oceanid in Chingsa have once been a human?
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Oh, yeah, could she... Yeah, are you one of the missing girls?
I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vacher would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me. And I also loved him equally as much.
If he was with you when you turned, do you think the guys who turned you killed him? I mean, sounds like they were only turning the women into water or oceanids. So he could have already died.
Now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how heavy it could be.
Lumine, before you offer to help people find their missing loved ones, shouldn't you be focusing on finding your missing brother?
No.
Oh?
Our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories.
What do you mean?
The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters.
No sucker? I'll have to look up what that means later.
If you meet Vacher, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
I mean, if he's still alive, yeah, it's gotta be hard for him to forget about his
Perhaps
missing
that is
girlfriend.
so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vacher above the surface.
Ah, so he was there when you turned.
His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing.
Okay, if he's not a part of this, then he must have been so freaked out, like seeing his girlfriend just suddenly dissolve right in front of his eyes. Blech. Excuse me, I don't
If
know.
only
I
I
don't think
could
my
have
tongue is working
comforted
this
him.
morning.
Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth.
Oh, if he did see it, then he had... Would he know who did it?
Is that
Who
what
did
you
this
call
to
it?
the women?
Dissolving.
But then why
Fusing.
hasn't he come forward
I
about it?
consider it a form of release.
So the women, like, they offered themselves to these people? They wanted to be dissolved?
It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface.
That's not what Fake Halsey said. Sounds like she was panicked, mostly.
I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the
Oh.
first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety. I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Yeah, Paimon, I hope you're not freaked
Farewell,
out.
then. I am glad that you were able to sense
I know
my
Paimon has separation
presence.
anxiety.
Remember, if you see Vacher, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
Don't worry, I'm sure I'll be able to know who he is by the name above his head. No need to tell me what he looks like or anything. Oh? Fire? No? Aye, what?
Navia's outnumbered!
Paimon, what did you do while we were out? Cutscene. Oh, she's a claymore user. Okay. I think that's a claymore.
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
Why are they suddenly attacking us? All I did was take a nap by the fountain. Was I not allowed to?
Chlorand?
Ooh, so many.
Quick, now's our chance!
Ooh. You're the one child wants to fight, right? Wonder what he's been doing this whole time. Has he actually fought Chlorand yet? Oh, that's cool. Oh, that fight choreography was so cool. You got beef? You got history? You shy?
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
Isn't she just doing her job?
I
Oh,
followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
oh, so you guys do have history. I see.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Tell that to Tim Drake.
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety.
Mr. Callus?
And I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Oh, is he like the previous Mafia Don?
Do not speak of my father!
Yeah, could have been the previous boss.
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Chlorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Yeah, no need to bring up to re-traumatize people.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
I love her
Whatever.
voice. Her English
What else
VA
do you know?
sounds great.
How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much
Well, she
more
said
than
she
you,
was following you.
but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful.
Yeah, they would come after Navia, I guess, mostly because she helped us, like, reveal what happened. But also, she is a Fontainian woman, so she could be a good candidate to be dissolved, I guess, since they couldn't get to Halsey. Or maybe they tried for Lynette. Lenny and Lynette are originally from Fontaine too, right? Oh yeah, we gotta keep an eye on both of them.
Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only
Yeah.
those associated with a Maison Gardiennage could control them.
Yeah, why? Who sent the robots after
None of these mecha
Navia?
have serial numbers. I was
Oh.
sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law.
So, you guys buy them from a private weapons dealer or something?
I
I
can
don't know
only
how
conclude
weapons
that
and
some
war works.
powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish.
You know, the fact that she's like really like focused on the disappearances, does that indicate that she's related to someone who disappeared? Maybe someone, maybe like her mother or something?
Regardless, thank you for your help today, Chlorand. But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
Lumine's still kind of zonked out back there.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you.
I
Good
just
day,
noticed, but I really like Chlorand's earrings. I like dangly earrings, and those look really nice. I haven't had blue earrings in a while.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
That is.
Mademoiselle, I believe that Miss Chlorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, I just... She's...
So, can someone fill me in? What happened while I was knocked out?
Oh, thank goodness! I thought we were done for!
You always think that.
Came out of nowhere while you you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved
Oh,
us.
so they weren't after Navia, they were after Lumine. But Lumine can't be dissolved, she's not from Fontaine.
Oh, and there was that champion duelist.
Well, maybe
named
they
Florence
just
who
wanted to
came
kill
out
her.
save us too. We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Thanks, Paimon.
Oh.
Looking
Come
out for
now.
us as always.
Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast.
As long as you're
such,
paying.
We're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
Calm down, simp.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
You too, simp number 2.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
I'm guessing all of those robots appearing would have, would have gotten someone's attention.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Oh? Did you hear Paimon screaming for us? Actually, now that I think about it, Cloren's earring looks a bit like Navia's hat thingy. I don't know what it's called.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought.
I still think you're holding back on us, Paimon. If anyone has a secret strength out of all of the cast, it's gotta be you.
Yes.
You and
All
Venti.
thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
Oh,
How did that help?
were you coming after Paimon to have her pay?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky.
Oh, we were drugged?
Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
It only took you till now to suss that out? Well, at least you eventually figured out that something was off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Oh,
Yes.
I would have thought it was just
So
normal poison.
if you hadn't drunk that cup for me,
Oh, yeah, so maybe they were after Navia, and we just accidentally got in the way again.
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Still, the way they tried to get at Halsey, they just splashed the water on her. They didn't make her drink it, so, well, apparently now we know that you can either drink or get splashed with it to turn into water. Good to know.
Huh. Really?
Yeah, it's a good thing neither of us are
I
Fontainian.
sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate.
I mean, I'm from a
But
different
whoever
world. I
did
don't know
this
what
left
you are,
no trace
Paimon.
at all.
Huh.
That's when I figured out that you might be in danger and hurried here as quickly as I could.
Well, thank you.
What? Why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
Actually, that might explain how Paimon was suddenly able to hear the ocean in its voice, when before this she couldn't hear anything that the traveler heard. Maybe the drinking from water from the primordial sea gave us like a stronger connection with the other missing girls.
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Where do we begin?
Well, it can't be coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. She said that she heard that voice calling for Vache again.
Vache.
Oh,
Vache.
and this time Paimon heard it too. But it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
Oh, did Lynette mention that? I actually forgot.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
I wonder if it happened to Halsey too.
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I mean, as long as, you know, they're not from Fontaine, then yeah, it's not a bad thing.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that is important.
Okay, explain, yada yada yada, blah blah blah.
Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately.
Yeah, that I'm surprised he hasn't stepped forward at all. So, which, you know, kind of makes me think that he's already dead, depending on how long that specific Oceanid had been turned. If she was one of the earlier victims, then, you know, yeah, Vache could be dead by now.
Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene.
Yes.
But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
Yes, if he's still alive, then
Yes.
we can ask
Thank
him.
you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
So, you want us to help again?
Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
That's not what I said.
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right?
Seriously though, Lumine, focus on a little bit more on finding your brother, please.
And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not.
We're 4
You're not
years
gonna let
in
those
at this
people who
point.
targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Yeah.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you.
Ooh, secret
We
base.
also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Deepen our bonds? Do you mean sexually?
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
I mean, you guys were pretty useless in that fight. I don't know if I should be putting that much faith in you. But if Clorand is still stalking us, then yeah, I guess it would be safe. Okay. Now there are people here. Where were you when all of those robots were attacking, huh? Where are we supposed to go? There. Yeah, where? Down there. Up. I don't think I've ever explored this part of Fontaine before. What's this? Okay. What's this? Radish. Hold on, I see shiny. And I see a doggo! You didn't help during the robot fight either. But that's fine. I like you. There seem to be Fontanian canines around. Oh, for the quest, right? I'll do that later. The event quest.
It's right up ahead. But let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch.
NPCs
Demoiselle.
tend to
I haven't
ignore us,
spotted
don't
anyone
worry.
suspicious thus far.
Very good. But let's not let our guard down for now.
I mean, if you want to be more inconspicuous, why don't you try changing your outfit
I
first?
shall find rooms for our
You
respected
look too
guests.
much like a playable character. Ooh, I see something back there. Something moving. It's just flowers? Okay,
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, Traveler.
let's go. Wait, let me check. Nope, no one here. It's just flowers in the wind. Okay. Down here first. Oh, so this is the underground that we saw in the trailer. The one that Alice voiced over. Ooh. You know, for Mafioso, you guys are really slumming it. I thought the Mafia was supposed to be, you know, a little more well off. Oui? Oui. Oh, there's someone here. Can we talk to you? No? I'll hold off talking to NPCs for, you know, off stream. Oh, so this is where that one, yeah, this teleport waypoint is. I've been looking for it all over. Well, now we found it. Huh. Lizard. So these are the slums of Fontaine. Kitty cat. Kitty kitty. Hello. Meow. Meow. Bye bye. Waypoint. Teleport waypoint. Yeah. Okay, get this. Yeah, I think I mentioned like in the first stream how the above ground reminded me of like Arcane's above ground. Now this is also reminding me of Arcane's underground. I haven't watched it in a while. I'm sorry, I forgot what it's called. Are we supposed to go down there? No, to you.
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Paimon, that's rude. Also, same.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
You must be some circumstances, huh?
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering.
Oh.
In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Okay, so you guys are more like Star Rail's Wildfire then?
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support
Ooh,
of
I
the
hear a
people,
doggo.
that does sound like it's worth it.
Yeah.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Was your father a little better at stomaching the illegal stuff?
Your father, he was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
Sure thing, NPC. Go on. Lore dump on us.
No. I'll explain it myself.
Oh.
I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand.
You know, for someone that you met like 2 days ago, more or less, you're putting a lot of trust and faith in us.
My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets.
I've never heard of that.
3 years ago,
But go off.
he was accused of murdering his own friend.
Oh.
But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh. So the relation to Clorand, could it be that Clorand was the one who killed him?
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up.
Okay.
At the time,
What makes you so
I
sure?
believed that
Your
if
gut?
he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his... But
sorry.
strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena.
I mean, asking for a duel isn't really suspicious, right? Apparently everyone here does that before they go on trial because they think it's their best chance of proving themselves. But also maybe he just... You know what? Maybe I shouldn't speculate. I should let Navia finish.
3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that.
Okay, 3 years. This is pretty recent then.
How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself. The closest piece
Have
of
you had
info
any
I
clue-
have
any clues
is that my
since
father
then?
had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, that's why you're so focused on it too.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
So what about your mom? Is she one of the disappeared women?
That's right. I've also
dissolved
tried to
women?
investigate the murder my father was implicated in. But I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records.
So who is this guy that he supposedly murdered?
However,
Allegedly.
I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth.
Okay, so who's the friend then?
If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive.
Wait, no, never mind. Don't tell us. We don't need to know. Right now, we just need to focus on the serial disappearance case. I don't think Lumine can afford to focus on too many things at once. She still hasn't found her brother.
He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me.
Oh, well, that's a kind of a normal thing you don't want to talk about with your own child.
And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Demoiselle, please.
Yeah, speaking of your
If there is
family,
anything I can
Lumine.
do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful.
I mean, it must have been a big deal for him to have gotten a nickname from that, right?
Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that.
True.
People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
In my experience, people love the latter rather than the former.
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused,
Allegedly.
we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent
Oh,
in
I
the
was right.
duel was Ms. Cloran.
Yeah, so she was the one who killed him.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
I mean, it was a duel that they both willingly participated in. And according to what Navia said, he wanted to see the fight till the end, even if it meant he'll lose.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either.
Should we be warning child about this?
She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena,
Okay.
there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all.
You Fontainians are so
Okay.
dramatic.
I just can't deal with this yet.
Yeah, it was just 3 years ago. I understand. You take your time to grieve and accept his death.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Paimon knows how she feels? Paimon has also lost people? Well, actually, yeah, some people have died on our adventures together. Never mind. You were saying, Paimon?
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
Can people who ask for duels ask that? Like, have a last request granted? That sounds kind of weird. Yeah, it does indicate that he got into it
that is our
expecting to
understanding
die.
as well.
Huh.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right. Anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
No, this is important to you. It's okay.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Okay.
Yeah. Paimon's beat.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
Before that, I saw a doggo. Doggy. Hello. Why are only fancy poodles allowed upstairs, but doggos like you will have to stay down here? Book. Book. No, not book. Bye bye, doggo. Okay, now go rest. Okay.
So, well... this place feels almost too safe.
No such thing as too safe.
Navia? Where did the other two go?
I'm guessing it's their turn to sleep now?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's
So this
not
isn't
much
your,
for them to do here
your
at the moment.
headquarters. Okay.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vache.
Is it not a common name?
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence.
Oh.
It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
Anywhere in Fontaine? So maybe it's someone from outside of Fontaine, from another country? I mean, the Oceanid did say that she was an adventurer. It makes sense that maybe she could have gotten a boyfriend from another country, a foreign boo, if you will.
I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
Sounds like you're taking too many leaps. I mean, could be conjecture at this point. I mean, what I said could also be conjecture. Am I using that word correctly? Either way, there's no real actual solid evidence that either of us are correct.
Does that mean we're too late, though?
Oh yeah, he could
No.
also be dead.
There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to.
The opera?
And that is the archives kept
Oh.
by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept.
I guess we're gonna go talk to Neuvillette now.
If the Oceanid you met is one of the young
Oceanid?
women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you.
Does he not have any hobbies?
In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we?
Shall we?
Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
Oh, is she worried that she's gonna get targeted again?
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
Okay, let's go. Up there. Does Neuvillette have a house? I mean, does he
Palais is
actually
right up
live
ahead. Come on.
outside of the courthouse? I guess he does. Opera house, right. They don't have a courthouse. Oh, we're going to his office, not his house. I guess that makes sense. We wouldn't want to bother the man in his own bed. Ooh, the music.
Halt! Please state your business
Oh.
here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters. This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
I mean, it's just one guard that's telling us to stop. Do you really think that indicates any kind of any level of security higher than, say, 2?
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Should she?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell.
I guess that raises the security to 3 out of 10 then.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No,
Calm down.
What I meant to say is,
Let us
shouldn't you
explain
remember us
first.
from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird.
Oh, you weren't actually in there.
You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
Where are your pants?
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Is it a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
If she does trust us, then I'd say that lowers the security level back to a 2.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
2 out of 10. That's how I'm rating you guys.
Ah, thanks so much.
Isn't he in an important meeting or something right now? Well, guess not. Guess we can just go through. Nivelet!
Please come in.
Hello. I'm guessing you're getting sick of seeing us now? At this point, you've just been seeing us for the past, like, 2 days.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only like to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
It's nice of you to be willing to hear us out, at least.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Okay.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Hopefully Vacher isn't a common name in Fontaine. Though I guess if you haven't found any other Vacher, then I guess it is a pretty unique name. Must be his age. Old people are very easy to talk to. They get lonely. You're just gonna scan the spines of the books without opening them at all?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years.
So he's kept a clean record. Or it could be that he's not from Fontaine, you know?
There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
No.
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take
It
our leave
couldn't
now.
have been a dream. I mean, do you remember what happened the last time we heard voices? It was the voice of... Oh wait, actually, Paimon wouldn't remember about Rikudavata. You know what? Never mind.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
Thank you for your condolences.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette?
That he's sorry that you lost someone you loved?
Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret?
What's wrong with any of that?
No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should.
And what's wrong with that? I mean, he doesn't really know you, and I guess it's good that he's at least nice enough to give you his condolences.
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead.
I mean, it's part of their laws, isn't it? To just let the duels happen according to what the duelists want?
In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death,
Oh, I think this is
then
the
why
first
didn't
time
you
we've
call
seen
a stop to the duel?
a character like cry like this with actual tears in their eyes instead of like a tear running down their cheek and down their chin. Aww. But also, like, I understand that Neuvillette can't really do anything. It's his job, you know? He can't get in the way. He'd be abusing his power then.
Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die? Despised and hated by all. Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything.
if he did try to stop it, he would be abusing his power and position. He's not. No one's supposed to be able to just stop the duels.
There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really
Navia.
have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone.
Yeah, I can't imagine he'd like rant about a bad day to Farina or Chlorhand. Yeah, you must be a lonely old man, aren't you, Duvilet?
It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything.
I mean, I can relate. It's for some people, it's just hard.
Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice.
I mean, he kind of has to be. It's his job. He's not supposed to be partial.
My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Oh, Navia. Oh, Novilet. Yeah, this is kind of awkward.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you really?
Rain.
Oh no! You
It's
made
raining.
Novilet sad! Navia! You made him cry!
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today.
No!
Strange.
Novilet, don't cry! No!
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
No! Novilet!
What is it? Did you think of something?
I think we just made an old man cry.
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
Did you even know what you were searching for?
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain?
So, yeah, if the murderer was a woman, maybe.
Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
Ah.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
I'm just saying, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Keep your expectations low so you don't get disappointed.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
We can just teleport.
Great. Let's go then.
Let's go then. Where did I teleport to? What? Poisson. Okay. Down there. Burb! Jumping burb!
Whoa, what a huge ship!
Oh!
Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
This isn't related to the game, but I lived, well, I lived next to and worked on a ship that was like landed, as in it was just a building that looked like a ship. It was pretty cool, but also, you know, I already stopped working there. But yeah, I could say that I have lived and worked on a ship, technically. It was just, it's just
no
something
need to
cool,
be so
a cool tidbit about me.
surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
Oh, Okay.
My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common.
You also have the same taste in exterior design as my old boss.
A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
So I guess every Fontanian is dramatic, huh?
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers.
What history? We've only heard of her and her two bodyguards talk about Spina di Rosula. No one else has mentioned them, other than Clorand, I guess. But, you know, she has a connection with the old boss. That's pretty much it. What history?
But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
You're very easily pleased, Paimon.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Guess we're going on the ship. Whoa! Let me check. Hello? Hello? Okay, I'm guessing... hold on. Okay, my mic is okay now. Okay, let's go. Ooh. Doggo! 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 Goodbye. How do we get there? Yeah, I think we're going the right way. I miss being able to jump. I haven't played Genshin in a while. I've just been focusing on Star Rail. You can't jump in Star Rail. Can't jump or climb, actually. Whee! Woo! Oh, hey! Melus? Wait, that's your name?
Melus, we're back!
I'm back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
We've already been to court.
About that.
We're back now.
It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea?
Huh? Huh?
You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson.
Synth? Is it a drug?
At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
It's a drug.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Oh, it's a drug.
Yes, he did. Considering what we
It's
know
a
now,
drug cartel
it's
case.
almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea.
Huh.
If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions.
If it gives you like a kind of high or like makes you feel good, then I guess that explains why the Oceanid that we talked to before, she says that she doesn't feel suffering anymore, that she feels like she's been let free. Okay.
And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
Withdrawals, so it is a drug.
As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
I'm guessing it didn't work.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, But no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, the boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Unfortunately, seems like he wasn't, successful.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation.
Well, at least none of them suddenly dissolved. Well, I'm guessing that back then, since their operations hadn't been, compromised, they couldn't really afford to dissolve someone in front of other people's eyes like that.
Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant.
And?
The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse.
Oh, I'm guessing that's the guy who was killed then?
That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Ah, okay.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
So if they didn't see the killer, and if the killer did, turn into water, that means the killer we're looking for is a woman?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
Ah. So it could have belonged to
Precisely.
someone who dissolved.
It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
The third person was to blame. Okay, so Jacques was one person who got shot and the other was a woman? Or was a woman, or did the shooter shoot Jacques first and then turn the gun onto herself, thus dissolving herself? I don't know. Not enough clues yet.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
I think you're putting a little too much faith in your gut here.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning.
You guys are also putting a little too much faith in this Jacques person.
I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning.
Ah, butler and bodyguard. Great.
Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice.
Yeah, I'd understand why you're worried for Navia.
Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark.
I mean, you're his daughter. Of course he'd want to protect you from some of the nastier things about his life.
What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end?
I mean, you're still here. You're still alive. So I think that indicates that he did manage to protect you at least.
Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that, ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
I mean, Melus isn't saying that you should stop. He's just saying, you know, be careful.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, Demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
And more importantly, Paimon and I aren't from Fontaine, so we can taste test everything for you. You know, keep you from dissolving.
So you do know something else, Melus?
Melus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
Yeah, I figured.
What?
They're targeting her now.
Boss
I'm guessing-
also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live.
Is it the same illness that took out Scaramouche's friend?
And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you.
Okay.
Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details.
And that was enough to get those, I don't know, the dissolving people off of Navia's back?
But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public.
See, he did manage to protect you in the end.
If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Ah.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
Yeah, until we kind of revealed their schemes in front of a huge-ass crowd. Oh boy.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
I mean, parents are pretty good at hiding stuff from their kids. Well, most stuff. They can't hide the fact, they can't hide it if they're fighting with each other. That's the only thing.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss.
Yeah.
To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
Oh.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I mean, he
I'm
was a
afraid
father.
you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
Yeah.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight?
I mean, 5 years ago, you would have been pretty young, right? He probably didn't want you to get in danger too soon, too early.
No. He might have set
Oh.
up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
Yeah, he gave you the choice to live how you want. I mean, what if you didn't want to look into the missing girl's case? You know, he gave you that the opportunity to make that choice yourself.
Yeah,
At least.
I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Huh. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced.
Oh.
Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters.
So you guys had this information for 5 years and you didn't think to tell anyone? The authorities? Nothing? I mean, if you told the authorities, I'm sure they could have put Navia under witness protection or something. Seriously? 5 years? And I'm sure some girls have already gone missing since then. And you just sat on this for 5 years?
When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Bring it on, let's go.
In that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
That's what I said, Paimon.
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
No, but that couldn't have been the case 5 years ago, right?
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice.
Okay, maybe it was the case.
But things are different now.
Yeah.
It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
Yeah.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina
You guys have a
Dirasula,
mole.
or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors.
Okay.
If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people.
Is the other bodyguard, simp number 1, also a suspect?
First is
No.
Florent,
Okay.
Spina Dirasula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes,
Florent?
surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well.
You know, I wouldn't take all of what he says, so transparently, I guess. Take it with a grain of salt, Navia. He could just be telling you this to get the suspicions off of his back.
Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time.
You were also the boss's butler, so you could know his plans all the time.
There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
And they haven't been trying to help you guys, like, get on your feet? I mean, they haven't been trying to pay you guys back somehow?
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
And they just let Spina di Rosula go into hard times just like that?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
Ah, okay.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities.
Understandable.
Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
It is a little hard to believe. Melus, aren't you gonna put yourself on that list?
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Melus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
Information that I shall take with a handful of salt.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty.
Feels a little convenient, a little too convenient for you to tell her all of this now instead of, I don't know, 5 years earlier?
And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today.
Well, at least it's good to know that they weren't dissolved for his, like, betrayal.
If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Aw, thank you so much, Melus. You really are the best.
Handful of salt, Melus. I'm keeping my eyes on you.
My dear partner.
You leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Oh, new casebook. Paimon, you're not gonna put on those stupid glasses again, are you? Let's see. Casebook. Where? Casebook. Case record.
Who would have imagined that people could really
Not the
turn into
glasses,
water?
dang it.
Here we go again, trying to crack an impossible case. All proof and no motive.
Oh, 3 years ago, not 5 years ago, sorry. Still, 3 years and you didn't even try to, like, give a hint to the authorities? I mean, you already had Cloran on your side. Whatever. So where are we going? Just down there? Okay. Whee! Ooh, I see shinies. Okay. Shiny. Oh, Jacques' wife and daughter.
It is settled.
Hi.
Then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Melus.
I'm keeping my eye on you.
Do you need anything from us?
That kid looks like she agrees with me.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
She's afraid of children.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
Aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques?
Guess you'd know. I mean, you two lost a father pretty much back to back, right? On around the same time. It's gotta be hard. Especially for this kid. She must have been really young when it happened.
I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how
kid.
to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift.
Consolation
I know
gift.
Only the full truth could bring
Ugh.
closure to you. And to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm
the kid
sorry.
isn't interested.
I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Oh?
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again.
Yeah, this kind of makes him like a drug dealer, right?
He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came
I
to
mean,
him
if
with a
you
proposal,
asked...
he accepted it almost immediately.
Well, what was that 4-star character's name? Dory. If you ask Dory, Mora is everything.
He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
What is this? What is she looking at? There's an underwater place here?
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Well, at least he communicated with you, unlike how Callus communicated with his daughter.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
I don't know. Does that mean that someone did? Sounds like a pretty big leap of logic. I mean, it could just be that he figured out that his drug bosses are onto him and that they're targeting him now.
I don't know that for sure, but you could
Yeah, it
say
sounds like a pretty
that's
big leap.
the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
Oh, Coralie, you're too kind.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing?
Sometimes adult things are complicated.
Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons.
Well, I mean, that's one way to explain a complicated thing to a child, I guess.
Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword, he must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is
Ow.
not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
I hope that was a compliment.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Okay, we got that now. Can we talk to you again?
I'll leave my husband's case to you.
Thank you, Miss Spina, and Miss Spina's friend.
Okay. Kitty! And another kitty!
Are you okay, Navia?
Are we supposed to go?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Down here?
I'll get myself together on the way.
Up there.
So please don't worry.
Here. Oh, there you are. Hello. What's your name again?
Greetings, boss.
Florent.
How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
I'm guessing at this point everyone in Fontaine's heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case.
Should we really be telling all of this to this guy?
Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table.
Could you two not look so suspicious of what he's saying? You're gonna scare him off.
After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene.
So guns are common in Fontaine, I guess.
But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation.
I'm guessing the first shot was for whoever dissolved.
Reason
then?
being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene.
I mean, could he have gotten another gun?
But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person.
I mean, that's what I said.
About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him.
You know, if no one knows who this third person is, that means that there's definitely a huge possibility that there are more missing people, you know, who were dissolved that the guards and Clorand and Nouvelet and Furina don't know of. So it also could have been going on for longer than 20 years. I mean, they said that the first case started 20 years ago, right? If there are more missing people, more dissolved people, then yeah, this could have gone on for longer than anyone knows.
The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys?
Maybe.
But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us?
Well, apparently Mr. Callis liked to keep his secrets.
He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
According to Melus, he did it to protect Navia and also to, like, you know, kind of die in his own way. I guess it was, you could say Clorand assisted his suicide. That's pretty dark.
About that,
And
Malus
she's
told me
been
a thing or two.
feeling
So,
like guilty
I
ever
think I
since.
can understand why he committed to the duel.
Hmm.
I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed.
I mean, Mr. Callus sounds less of a mouthful than Callus the Unfaithful.
But
So
it
I
was
get it.
Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth.
You say he'll always be your boss. Does that mean you don't think of Navia as your boss?
You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Okay, so in terms of suspiciousness, I still think of Malus as a little more suspicious than this Florent guy. Can we talk to you?
My apologies, boss, for that last sentimental bit. It's just... many years have passed while I've held my tongue. It's not often that I get to share my true feelings with others.
I get it. It's okay. Now. The other two should be in the city. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Have you also heard that a fellow guard also dissolved? No, wait, that guard was a man. So, yeah, the missing people could just be, you know, not just women. There could be missing guys too. And yeah, the shooter could also be a man. Oh, I didn't think of that. I forgot about that.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
I'm pretty sure
okay.
everyone has at this point.
Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson.
Are you making yourself sound suspicious on purpose?
Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city.
Are you speaking like a 2-bit villain on purpose?
Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
If you've heard of what happened in the Opera House, then you should know that we were the fake lawyers that Linny hired.
Ah, yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old...
Ah,
Oh.
I get it.
Sorry.
You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
You could just lead us to them instead, you know, instead of sifting through them first yourself. Actually, wonder the missing people's case is related to the prophecy, right? I wonder if maybe Navia's dad also like somehow related it to the prophecy and figured out something about that too.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
But Cloran said that the Gardamex didn't have the like registered serial numbers, I think, right? So even if I think you should be asking if he knows where the Gardamex are created instead, you know, because like she said, those Gardamex aren't from the guards.
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Seriously, are you doing this on
Well,
purpose?
you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do was get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Oh, yeah, you could have just, I don't know, shaved the numbers off, maybe?
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them.
Is it?
If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will
And of
make
course,
it
if
for
it's
you.
about food,
You
Paimon
can
will
ask
pay
the
attention.
chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage.
Huh.
If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret.
So if he's telling the truth, then I guess those Gardamex really were just unregistered, as in they weren't created for the guards.
So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
We didn't mention the synth thing at all. Well, I guess since we're asking about Navia's dad's case, then yeah, I guess it makes sense that he'd relate it back to the synth.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Okay. I'm on to you, Mr. 2-bit villain. Whoever wrote your dialogue was doing it on purpose, wasn't he? Or she.
I'll see what I can do for you in Spina di Rasula when it comes to guard stuff, but don't go advertising it to everyone else.
I wonder if Cloran knows that one of her guards is also helping out Spina di Rosula. And if she knows, then maybe she has no... like, she has no problem with it. I mean, especially if she feels bad about what happened to their previous boss. Hello. What's your name again?
Hello. How
Oh.
may I help you?
You're definitely not one of the people we're
I'm
supposed
here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
You have a very pleasant voice.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Understandable, old man. It's happening to me too.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
He could also be like, he's also like one of my main suspects because, you know, he's the only one that Navia calls uncle. And if I were to write a story, I guess I would aim for the person that's closest to one of the protagonists to be to be a secret antagonist.
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
Oh.
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery?
Navia didn't... Did she mention that she came there with another Spina di Rosula person?
I also witnessed her marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive.
So, no comment on my lawyering work? Understandable, I'm not a real lawyer.
To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Between you and me, the Hydro Archon ain't shit.
Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
You should be used to it by now. Mondstadt was the first place you brought us to.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Yeah, you're a nation of drama kings and queens.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yeah, were you there for that too?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
How convenient.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea.
Should you really be telling everyone this? Well, actually, she didn't tell the first person, right? So she's just been revealing more information as we go.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
So she's giving different people different information just to see which information gets back to the synth people?
Oh, you're
The
giving
synth
us
cartel?
too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Yeah, while I was conked out by the water.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there.
She's not scared.
If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Ooh. You know, if you're looking to hire a lawyer, I know a great one in Liyue. There's
Thank
also
you,
her,
Uncle
like,
Marcel.
junior in
But
Inazuma.
I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have
Yeah.
any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
A gunshot? Not two?
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora.
I mean, the Spina di Rosula has been needing Mora for a while now, right? Doesn't seem like you've been giving them too much, or like, you know, enough.
All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
And yet Spina di Rosula is still, you know, in the red. So much for being indebted to Callus. What are you gonna say?
Alas, why do these kinds of things happen to the kindest people?
Okay. So now I'd go over the clues. Where? Down there. You sure we should be going somewhere close? Oh, no. The other side of the wall. How do we get there? Here, maybe? Yeah, here. Out of my way, Mecha. Oh.
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years.
And you wouldn't have gone, you know, would have gone farther in these past 3 years without us.
Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough,
Which
let's
you
still
should have,
compile what we were
actually,
able to
since
find.
Milus actually had his suspicions on these 3 people the whole time.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. that makes sense.
Does it really? I mean, we don't have any solid evidence that the gun belonged to Jacques. If there was evidence of that, then don't you think the guards would have known that this whole time?
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day.
Not in those exact words. I think his wife just said that he said goodbye, and that's it.
If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
Do we know that for sure, though? I mean, like I said, it could have just been that he felt like he was gonna get killed at this point, and he wasn't given an ultimatum of kill Callus or else.
So,
Just that he's gonna die.
The first shot?
I don't know. The first shot probably ended up in whoever it solved.
Oh? And why is that?
Yeah, could he guarantee
that's
safety
a good
if he did
point.
what they asked?
Jack probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
Why are you guys jumping to, like, the most dramatic conclusions?
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father.
I don't know if it's just because I've never played a, like, detective game before, but it really does feel like they're all just jumping to conclusions rather than getting, like, any solid evidence. So, I'm just gonna shut up about this for now and see wherever the game leads us.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory.
So you do know that we need evidence.
Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well.
Understandable.
It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Also understandable.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Who? He? Callus or Jacques?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
The rich guy.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex.
And he was also in charge of the banquet.
Still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child.
Which makes his betrayal all the more dramatic.
Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
I mean, has he really been spending that much more if he hasn't helped you guys get on your feet since Callus's death?
Florent?
I don't think it's him.
It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
Also, it sounds like he really missed your father if he says that Callus is his only boss and he didn't count you as his boss.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly.
I mean, the mecha army could have belonged to Synth. He didn't have to be the one to, you know, dispatch them himself.
Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use.
But
I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha.
You and your gut.
I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Your guts, your feelings, your intuition. Why don't you get some actual hardcore evidence first?
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory.
Have we checked the guard's inventory, though?
If If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Who could it be?
I think. So, do I have to... What do I do? It's just press select.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
I mean... I don't know, I'm still kind of suspicious of Malus.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the three, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well.
But he didn't lay out himself.
The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight.
The mecha could have belonged to the cartel. I forgot what the drug's name is. The synth cartel. So that the suspect does not necessarily have to have the funds himself.
Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
I don't know, it's starting to feel a little too easy now.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now.
But it could also be a trap.
We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Finally! She's
Nadia,
looking for solid
here
proof.
You are.
Oh.
I've been looking for you.
Yes, how can we help you?
Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Okay.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
Oh, is this a trial about another missing person?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial
Oh,
is
shit!
a holy harbinger called Tartaglia.
No, child!
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well,
Child!
he's been accused of being
Tartar,
the true culprit
Ajax,
behind
no.
the serial disappearances case.
What?
It's absurd, don't you think?
It is absurd since you guys just... Okay, since Fontaine figured out that it happened 20 years ago, which now that I think about it, could have happened a lot sooner than that. And 20 years ago, Tartaglia was in Shineznaya as a child. Actually, he could have been in the Abyss as a child. Either way, it's not him. No!
How? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
Nothing in Fontaine has anything to do with him at this point.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge
Who
against
put him up as a
stands, then
suspect?
it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
You know what? If they think he did it, then I don't think I want the guard support at this anymore.
Right. Because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
Huh.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence.
Should we give Tartaglia his vision back?
Huh?
Would he need it now?
Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open.
I still think this is a trap.
You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Still, are you sure we should be sticking to Marcel?
We'll help you. just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
I mean, you could gather evidence for all three.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I don't trust you. You... maybe. You sip too hard.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get here?
Have you been stalking her?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
My confidence kind of
Thank you
dipped.
so much. Then, let's make haste for Arrhenius. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
Hold on, I want to check my... Okay, my mic is still working. Alright.
See you then!
Try not to get stabbed in the back.
Now that Navia has set out for Arrhenius, we should also get going.
Where are we
The
going?
location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Okay, where?
Huh. According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater.
Okay, let's
go
go.
and try to find the entrance.
Wait, can we just teleport there? Okay, yeah, this is a little closer. Huh. Okay. Down there? Oh.
Finally found it.
Oh, it's echoing.
So
Paimon is
this
echoing.
is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary at all.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't want to stand out, but why do it underwater though?
You're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms.
Meaning puzzles.
Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
She's good at that, I guess. Stalling. Oh, meanwhile.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again.
Tartaglia, how did you get yourself into this situation?
Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
Of course not. He was a literal child when the first case was reported. How could he be behind all of it?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of.
Neither do I. I don't understand this one bit.
However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right?
Of course you'd be interested in that.
In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right?
Oh my god,
I've got
why
to
are you
admit,
like this?
that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
Tartaglia, they are accusing you of possible serial killings. Are you sure you want to just accept a guilty
When I privately
verdict?
sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey, don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major
That's what I
case.
said, Farina.
This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Finally, we can agree on something, Farina.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House.
I'm guessing you'd be used to handling Archons at this point, huh?
Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
And I'm guessing he's still disappointed that Zhang Li won't fight him.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress.
I'm surprised you managed to get him inside the courthouse at all.
In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Uh-huh.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man. Huh? What's going on?
More drama.
Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjection.
Oh, please.
Yeah, he doesn't want to abuse his
Did you ever
power.
think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics?
No, you seem to love this place's pointless theatrics for someone who has no respect for it.
We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
That depends. Tartar, do you want to be proven innocent? I mean, at this point, you just want to fight, right?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway, so I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
Yeah, just sit down.
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted.
That was easy.
Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is...
Oh. What am I supposed to do? Can't I choose... I can't choose Malus, really? Suspect analysis.
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Is he here?
What Confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, so they're not as big of a deal as we thought?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Calm down. Calm your tits, lady.
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yeah, are you sure you should be putting this much faith in your gut feeling?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial.
Yeah, I bet he'd be shocked and confused.
Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies, sir. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
Okay.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what
I'll
really
just let
happened
this
in that
autoplay
case
and let her
can we connect all the dots for the
let
serial
her go through
disappearances
with her
case.
dramatic dialogue.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm...
Yeah, start from the beginning.
Struggling to remember some details of that case.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
Thanks for helping us buy time, Farina. Oh.
On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières.
Is that supposed to be Navia's dad? Or at least one of them?
During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound.
Okay.
The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court.
He has an eye patch.
Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel.
Okay.
Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger.
Supposedly.
In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that,
was he?
The true culprit
what about the
turned
person?
The third person into water.
Okay.
Erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Okay then, loopholes. What am I refuting again? Okay, yeah, that's the fact. Callus did not have a motive.
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had sent out another assassin.
Do you really have to say all of this with such drama? Clothing from the unknown person?
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead.
Honestly, the way you're saying all of this makes it sound like you're just telling a story rather than providing actual, factual, hardcore proof. I'm guessing this is... yeah, the person got dissolved.
A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice.
If it was raining that day,
Realizing
then...
this,
Nuvillette, do you remember what you were sad about?
The hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This...
oh, sorry. Is it really the true version of events? We don't have any proof. Navia, we don't have solid evidence. And how does this relate to Marcel?
Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
I mean, this case is at least 20 years old. That's how
and Jacques'
long.
respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Yeah, what do you mean all these years? That's kind of what Tartaglia is here for, isn't he? For the missing persons case that's at least 20 years long. Unless you've forgotten how long it actually is, in which case, let me remind you, it's 20 years long, and Tartaglia is can't be 30. Or at least can't be over 30. He had to have been a child in Snezhnaya when the first case was reported. Oh my god, are all of these people stupid?
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Yeah, there wasn't. That's what I said.
May I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things.
Which is?
1. Do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
No, she does not.
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home.
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Yeah, maybe.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
Oh yeah, she didn't really ask
second
for solid
question
evidence
has to do with the
before this.
ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callis explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice.
True.
What
There
was
also,
certain,
you know,
however,
that he was
that
dying.
it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
But what proof do we have of this?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by
True, I
staying
guess.
silent, we retain the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So dramatic.
You mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of
Yeah,
course.
do you have proof?
All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callis was intending to die?
Yes, I did.
And your
As a
proof?
champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die.
You know, this drama court is putting a lot of faith in people's feelings and intuitions and guts. I can see how this kind of Archon created this kind of court.
I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callis never intended to leave the ring alive.
Oh.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions.
Do you
It
really
appears
not have
there
any
really
more questions?
are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur.
I mean, that's why
However, Miss Navia,
you
you
have
still have not
Tartaglia
explained
now,
the link
right?
between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Okay.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
And how does this
Of
relate
course,
to
Your Honor.
Marcel?
The two cases are connected via a matter of timing.
Hmm.
In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots.
Okay.
And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone.
Oh, right.
Because
Marcel
they realized
was
they were
also
at risk
in...
of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene.
Marcel was also in the opera house. He said so himself. He went there to see the magic show, and because everyone there was a suspect at the time, he would have been brought back during Linny's trial.
Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
Ah.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's
She
one of
still
your
is.
most endearing traits.
Mm-hmm.
No need to appeal to pathos.
Calm
I
down,
won't
Sim.
try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events?
Yeah, Melus could
On
have
top
also
of that,
been at
does a
both.
person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Or hire someone else to do all of that? No, the assassinating?
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach
Okay,
you
now
another
I'm really
lesson.
suspecting this guy
Do you
because
know
of his
what the
dialogue.
biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're
The
gonna
way
tell
he's
me
talking
anyways.
makes me
It's
think
timing
that he's
again.
talking
I'm
like
a
a
businessman
villain who
by
has
trade.
a trump
From
card.
that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action to gain.
Hello? Okay, I think my mic is okay now. Alright.
In addition, I left
Go
my
on,
home in Snezhnaya
Marcel,
when I was young
monologue
to
your
come to
ass off.
Poisson and work in some trade. My
Oh, you're
business
from
only thrived when I
Snezhnaya.
received Callus's patronage.
Mm-hmm.
But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
You could say the same thing about Tartaglia. He was a child 20 years ago.
I do apologize, demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances?
Would any of you like to check the date of Tartaglia's birth against the first known case of the serial disappearances? I'm sure you'd see that he was like 10 when it first happened.
You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
Yeah, the way he's talking about her dad as if he knew him better than she did makes kind of solidifies him as a villain for me. Like the way he's talking, it's reminiscent of past villains who feel like they have an aha moment over the heroes until the heroes say something that would, turn things back onto them.
This isn't just about me.
and it never has been. The
Mm-hmm.
biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice.
Okay, this is another thing I guess that Honkai Star Rail does better than Genshin right now is the lip movements. They at least the timing is a lot better. Like for this, throughout this quest, I've noticed that sometimes you can still hear the voice lines, but the lips aren't moving, or like the voice lines have already ended, but the lips are still moving. It's actually really distracting.
Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well.
Oh, so
And
dramatic,
whose
all of you.
image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher?
Huh.
Oh.
Who?
So you do know that name.
You should have a better poker face, Marcel. You should have immediately asked who.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Hmm? Oh, yeah. Back to us. Ow. Where are we going? Where are we going? Oh. Ooh, what's these? Door party setup? I guess this is okay. Huh, that's a new one. Oh, so it's 2D. Hello, doggos. Robot doggos.
My guiding stars. Time for takeoff. Yahoo!
Clouds high. The birds call. The wind knows me.
Okay, start what? What do I do? What did I do? Where?
Whoa. The floor is going up.
Oh.
Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Let's go. Treasure! I wonder if I can store any of this. Nope. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way.
Did I jump
Let's take
down?
a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Down there? Let's go. Ew. We need you. Gimme. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Oh. What's that statue? Is that the previous Hydro Archon? No, it doesn't look like the statue of the 7. Is that it? Did that do it? Oh. Oh, were we supposed to do that? Yes? No? Oh, I guess so.
The water level is rising.
Yeah.
Now we can swim to the top.
Let's go.
But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
How do you know, Paimon? I don't see a map. Yeah, the map is useless right now. We're in a domain. Ooh.
The night is cold. Stars shine through.
More mechanical
volunteers. One with nature. As one with wind and cloud.
Let's play.
Oh, there's...
Think you can get away?
I thought I'd get the treasure. Treasure. Now what? Oh. Is that enough? go. We're almost done with the quest. I can feel it. I've had enough of Fontaine and all of its drama kings and queens. Down here? No, up there. Ooh, water wall. Can we swim inside? No? Huh. Yeah. Doesn't really look like much of a drug lab. I don't know if Walter White would be impressed or disappointed. Yo. Burn, baby, burn!
Cole, learn to command.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night, Windstrider.
Yahoo! Time for takeoff. Not now.
Yeah.
Let's play.
Okay. Alright, no treasure chests around? Yes, no, too late anyway. Let's go. Woo. Underground now. Kinda looks like Sumeru ruin. Sumerian ruin?
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum. Though, as expected,
Look
the
at all those
mastermind
treasure
isn't
chests.
here. That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the Opera House and help Navia.
Let's go. I see something glowing. Is this
What's this
where they
over
make
here?
the synth?
Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research
Jacob
conclusions
Ingold.
on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
Yeah, calm your tits, Paimon. We already knew that all of these people were dissolved.
We'll try your best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before. How could someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
Alrighty then. Is this safe? Oh. Vignair, who was dissolved
So that's why he did all of these experiments.
for over 20 years.
Did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane!
Vacher.
Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
Unless he... Yeah, he is the researcher. So the person, the Oceanite that we saw was his lover, and he probably couldn't save her. He tried to save her but failed. Or she was his first experiment subject, and maybe the reason why we haven't heard of anyone named Vacher, like his name was erased, was either because he's been down here this whole time and like rarely came up to the surface, or he changed his name to Marcel.
You mean Vacher is the one who did all of these experiments? So that's it. Vacher was no victim, but personally took his lover and...
He did that on purpose.
No, that's not it either.
No?
If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water?
Is this his way of trying to save people from the prophecy? Like if he could dissolve people and so they wouldn't drown in the flood, and then bring them back from the flood.
In any case,
Is that it?
Paimon will write it all down.
Can't you just take them? I don't know if something copied and written down would be much of a would be solid evidence. Might as well just take them. Yeah. What's this?
Whoa! There's
This
so
is
much
synth.
synth here, and so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea.
Let's drink one and see what Vegator has to say about this.
Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled. Whoa!
How
there's
helpful.
Even fruit-flavored synth?
Oh.
Yep, it's super obvious.
Synth. Okay. Where else? I see more sparklies. This is the primordial sea? Is it?
Oh, look! There's an important looking basin over here, and it's full of water.
Yeah,
That
must be the
means
primordial sea.
This is where they make all the synth, and that special water is the main
And
ingredient.
this is why they have to do it underwater
If you dilute it
and
with normal
underground.
water, you'll get synth, but the pure
This is
stuff
where
can
they get the
dissolve a
water from.
human.
Yeah.
Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence.
We have cameras. Can't we just take pictures?
Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes.
At least you're not wearing those stupid glasses anymore.
Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him. Yep. It's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it. This should prove the existence of the third person, right?
Yeah, take it.
We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia.
Did they really have someone transcribe their meeting like this?
Oh, seems
For
like
real?
we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
Yeah.
They're all just so evil.
I mean, this isn't really the first time you've met evil people since you met us, Paimon. Oh, right. Research materials. Okay. We didn't re-examine this. What did it say? Sins were what? Countless sins. Okay. No, don't attack. I just want to look at... Where does the water go to? It just stays up there? Okay, what else? Here?
What's all this? Aw, it's a bunch of really cute things.
Did this
Pink
belong to the ladies?
accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names?
Yeah, they probably belong to all of the dissolved people.
You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here?
And if he was trying to bring back his girlfriend, then it makes sense that he'd only target women, just to make sure that the person who came back is also a woman. I don't know. And it makes sense that he'd want to label all of these
Here, and it
things.
seems like our theories were spot on, but
Yeah, it makes sense that he'd take their stuff and label all of their stuff too, like to make sure that if any of them did come back, it's that they came back as the same person, you know?
yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity.
He's
No
Marcel.
wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit.
Let's look
Sure
again.
thing. Paimon won't admit defeat to this guy either.
Let's go. Seriously, we should just take pictures of this place. You know? And also take all of the notes and samples and stuff with us. Anything back here? No. Already. Salmon bottles. Table. What am I supposed to do? Nothing else is shining. Any of these correspondence? Nothing here on Vasher's identity. I don't think anything by the pool would say his identity here. No? The samples? I don't think so. Yeah. Oh, move. Stuff?
You take that side and Paimon will take this side. Check everything carefully. We'll find something for sure.
Yeah, if it has all of the victims' names, then maybe it has the first woman's name, Vasher's girlfriend.
Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either.
Focus, Paimon. We're not here for snacks.
Oh, really? What Paimon see?
Oh, a diary. Oh, that's how you say her name. Vignier.
You found her diary. Let's see. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too.
Marcel could have been...
Oh, Paimon feels even worse.
Vasher's son? I can't read
so many.
Fontainian. I'm sorry.
A whole page's worth. But they're all crossed out. Was she unhappy with all of them?
Maybe she wasn't the one unhappy.
Was...
Maybe she wasn't the one who decided on the name. Maybe it was Vasher.
Marcel.
Yeah, he could have been the son.
But Marcel's pretty old.
No, Marcel is Vasher.
Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vasher and Vignier's grown son?
Let's make sure.
Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
That's not a surprise. Let's hope that none of it gets wet. Well, we have a bottomless inventory.
Oh, do you see, Marcel?
Your
Is it a man
girlfriend?
named Vacher? Oh, so you
parents?
do know that name?
Yeah,
merely
I was waiting for you to say that.
Navia, we're back.
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
You really shouldn't put that much faith in us.
To flout the
I'm
rules
sorry,
of this
Nervalette.
It's all right.
It's not like I want to do this.
Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
Thank you for being reasonable for once, Furina. Where? Select. Excuse me.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
She speaks.
Huh?
Yeah, you are Vasher. I figured.
We've investigated your lair. We already know everything. After your lover, Vignier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher.
So that's it.
So where does
even the villains in
where'd the
opera
alibi of
performances
Shinezunaya
rarely
come
go
from?
that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Is that really his
Your
biggest sin?
determination.
And not, you know, killing people?
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this?
No, I think you're just
Pay
desperate.
attention to you. What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? ever empathized with my pain, ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes. No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me.
I'm guessing...
They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all.
I'm guessing that during their many explorations, they found the cave and Vignier, I don't know, maybe drank from the basin or accidentally fell in. Ah.
Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever.
If you knew that, then why did you keep dissolving people?
You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignier is dead.
Suffering isn't drama. Suffering is
each other that we would always be
pain.
together. Wherever she goes, I will follow.
You're gonna dissolve
I'm
yourself?
not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved.
Oh.
No matter what I do.
You're Shneznayan.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
Is that a good idea?
I can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Do you all see?
Was it just synth?
I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
I mean, I guess I was right about Vasher not being
The suspect is
Fontainian.
exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vignier. Her promise. We made a promise. Vignier. Vignier! Please, Vignier. Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
Maybe drinking that made him
At this point, the verdict of this trial
helped
is
him
clear.
hear Vignier's
With Mr.
voice
Marcel's
again.
conviction, the
Maybe.
charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
It never had any basis to
Fine
begin
by
with!
me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
I'm glad you
Traveler,
enjoyed
please
yourself,
submit
Tartar.
all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case.
Okay.
The man now known as Marcel was originally named
Oh,
Vacher
yeah, they're both
and
from
worked as
the
an adventurer
Adventurers
with
Guild.
his partner and lover Vignier.
Explains why they explored
During an
so much.
underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his
Why
attempt
does
to
he
frame
keep
Linny failed.
picking on young
The power of
people?
water
Why
from
can't
the
he choose
primordial
someone
sea
old
became
enough to
public
have
knowledge.
been behind
This
all
case
of it,
also
the same,
exposed
or
enough
at least
of
someone
Vacher's
as old as he
machinations
is?
that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all.
Yeah, and applause. That was some sad applause.
The
Well, I guess
Oratrice
you
will
wouldn't
now
really
deliver
want
the
to
final
applause
verdict regarding the charges
people
against
dying.
Mr. Vacher. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It serves.
Oh.
With that, the serial disappearances
Hello?
case is over now.
Is my
We
mic okay?
really just
Okay, I think
witnessed
it's okay.
history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
We help Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people.
Can we
and
ask
now he's
Furina about our
getting
brother
what he
now?
deserves. Huh? Are you okay?
Yeah, it doesn't bring Vinier back and it doesn't bring Navia's dad back.
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. Yeah. It's finally over.
Finally.
It's all thanks to you guys. And my partner.
Yeah, thanks to us.
See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending.
Are you still looking for a
Since
fight,
it's been such a
Tartaglia?
great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Bye-bye.
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now?
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
Yeah.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
He looks so
Please
unamused.
respect the laws of Fontaine.
So do you,
This
actually.
has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Jump.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been
Look at this
established
little
that Mr.
redhead.
Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal to render the final verdict on the charges.
Oh, no
According to the
cutscene.
judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
Huh? Look at his face, huh?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent?
You are. Like,
What's
hello?
with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Can it malfunction?
This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
The Oratrice says, like, it comes to a decision depending on the people inside the opera house, right? Do the people inside think Tartaglia is still guilty?
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
On your principle,
Weren't
maybe.
the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
Is it broken?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict.
And you can't
Guards, please take
misuse
the
your
suspect into
power
custody per
and
court
position
protocol.
to go against the verdict. Oh. Hold on, Ginger. What are you doing?
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine.
Actually, now
What
I'm
a
glad that
joke.
we didn't give your vision back to you. Tartaglia,
You've got
sit
your
down and
rules.
shut up.
Well, I've got mine too!
Oh no. Should you really be using your delusion now?
Oh boy.
Miss Hydro Archon, aren't you gonna do something about this?
He's activating his spell legacy!
Henshin!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Oh, he got a scratch on you.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Apologies.
Is your machine
this
broken?
This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation.
Really?
However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court.
Oh, did someone
All I
already
do is
get the
follow court
hydronosis?
procedure.
Is that why it's broken?
As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Yeah, we should ask the person who owns the gnosis.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it. I don't know
That's pretty
what
evident.
happened there either. Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either? But that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
It's broken.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
Just say that your machine broke.
My dearest citizens, did
Oh,
you
I didn't-
really think
I
we'd
missed this
allow
one.
an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap?
Yes, I do
Don't
believe
tell
that.
me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just
Weren't
now,
you?
it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
She and everyone else in the
However,
building.
given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an
Farina,
elaborate performance,
come on.
with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement.
You're gonna cover your ass like this?
Of course, for every performance there is a script.
You're supposed to be
Everything
the
has
Archon of
unfolded
Justice. Come
exactly as I
on.
expected from the very beginning.
Well, I guess I
As
shouldn't be
the
too disappointed.
embodiment
This was
the
kind of
very
expected.
concept
Still.
of justice, the Oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment.
Your lips
If
aren't
you
even
thought
moving anymore.
child had nothing to do with the serial
Why is
disappearance
everyone in
case,
Fontaine
it
calling
is
him
only
child?
because you've been blinded by
Wasn't
the
that just the
superficial
Liu
appearance of innocence.
Nickname?
Everything he's done, not
Liu
to
Wen
mention the
nickname?
danger he poses, are beyond ordinary
Alias.
comprehension and completely unforgivable.
Is it really?
All shall be revealed in time.
Why not reveal it now?
You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict.
Can't you make us understand now?
Now,
You would get
having
along
said
very
that,
well with Fischl.
Although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense,
And I'm guessing Nervillette would be your Oz, huh?
for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo!
So
Oh
she
my
chose
God.
to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
We shouldn't put much stock into anything she says at this point.
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea.
None of us have any
However,
idea
please
what
be
happened.
assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity.
At least
Just as I
we have
promised,
you to rely
if
on.
the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
Thank you.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff.
Yeah.
So he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
Well... So, is it over? Are we done? No? Hold on, let me just talk to Neverlet. So, anything else?
Oh, Monsieur Neverlet! That power you showed
Yeah,
me
who are
taking
you?
Down.
What are you?
Who are you really?
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If officers of the law lack the strength and capability to enforce it, then it makes a mockery of justice.
So what, you're just RoboCop and not a Hydro Dragon? Okay. Can I go outside? Yep. Oh, down there. Whee! I'll handle the canines later. Okay, we're out. Now what? Go in. Now what? Oh, just here. Okay. So...
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Marcel!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
What do you want?
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Why are you panicking? He can't do anything to us.
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Which
Go
is?
on.
I'm pleasantly
Thank you.
surprised at how kind Neuvillette has been throughout this whole
led away when I
quest.
finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Yeah, we talked
Are
to
you still
your dead
trying to prove your
girlfriend.
innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life. You can do whatever you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
She just
What?
told us
Give
to...
an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
All she did was tell us to tell you to let go, to move on.
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs?
Humans, huh? So you insinuating
Very
that
well.
you're not human,
I will
Neuvillette?
grant your request.
Oh.
Your Honor, I fear that...
Yeah, like I said,
I will go
Neuvillette
with
is
him.
surprisingly
You do not
very,
need
very
to
kind.
worry about any escape.
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands, Chief Justice.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, buddy, let's go. To the fountain. Fountain of Lucine, let's go. Why is the teleport point all the way over there? The fountain is all the way over here. No, the other side.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
You need to drink water from the primordial sea, like what you just did.
Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot
Yeah.
of it on the stage as well? Oh, in that case...
You should be able to hear her. Oh.
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too.
Vinier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache? Vache?
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you, Vinier? I'm coming for you. I'm finally here for you.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
I wonder if Vinier has heard everyone else's wish. I mean, the people who come to the
Vinier,
fountain.
is that you? It's me, Vache! Vinier!
Vache? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me.
Yeah, we should have told him that first.
You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you left.
Well, wait, I shouldn't be feeling sorry for this guy. He's a serial killer.
Has kept me alive.
So I guess
Nothing else
it really
matters
was
to me.
just to bring his girlfriend back, and it has
I
nothing
must
to
be
do with the
dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all
the
of my
prophecy,
feelings
huh?
like this? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
I mean, you've been doing badly for the past 20 years or so.
If you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
What?
What are you saying?
As becoming an oceanid turned her into a psychopath?
I would have finished my law degree
What?
and probably become a top-tier attorney one day.
What law degree?
If not for you, I would have continued
Oh shit,
to pursue
it's
my
not
love
just
of the
Vinier,
arts,
it's all
and
the
my
other
works would have
victims
been
too. Oh
displayed in
shit.
the Palais Mermonia itself.
Oh shit.
If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your
I'm guessing this is why
selfishness,
Vinier wanted us to make sure Vache
because
stopped looking for her. She didn't want him to run into the others
You
too.
are not Vinier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vinier. I am the sacrifices.
Oh.
Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea.
Oh shit.
Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became one, just as streams of water come together in the sea.
Oh shit.
I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine.
Thankfully you are not Halsey.
The only one I am not
Oh.
is Vinier.
Then how did you know about Vache?
Why? But then, where is Vinier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness
I'm
is
guessing
avoiding you.
because she found out about what he did
This
for
is
the
what
past
you
20
get
years.
For your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her.
Anything
But
except
did you
give
ever
up.
consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became?
Yeah, understandable.
You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist.
I don't really see where the
The only
narcissist
thing
comes
you are
in.
not is Vinier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred.
Yeah,
for
I'm
you.
guessing all of those like 20-something women would have eventually overcome Vinier's hate, one person's love for him.
No.
Huh.
Yeah. She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please. Have mercy.
You still don't understand.
Well, you didn't have mercy for them.
When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vinier. She really doesn't want to see you
Now
anymore.
you sound more like the Oceanid from
But on
Chingsa.
top of that, She also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
As you should not.
Vache.
Vache?
Vache. 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 Vache.
Drown.
Ooh. So we're not gonna stop him? We're not gonna fight him? Oh, several days later. Okay, time skip. Oh, it's raining. Neuvillette, why are you crying now?
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Huh. Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a
Apparently
pleasure to see
someone's
you
in a
both
bad
again.
mood. Someone else, I mean. By that, I mean Neuvillette.
Hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh.
I wonder
now
how long
that I
has it
believe.
been since
I'm
we've
easy
last
to
seen
work
Lenny and
with
Lynette.
always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't
The bacon?
treasure having a partner like me?
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia. What have you been busy with since the trial?
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the courts in Sen. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attended.
So his name's definitely been cleared now.
Yay.
That's what we like to hear.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are still dead.
Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service.
Who?
Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Who?
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The
Oh,
Charlotte? Journalist
yeah.
from the Steambird?
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me.
We
Wouldn't take
still
no for an answer.
haven't had her
The
banner
story
with her
was
yet.
called
Right.
The True Heart of Darkness. Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though,
So dramatic.
it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wish has finally come true too.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Thank you.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Do we have we actually
and
read
in other
an article
news,
that she's written before
I also
this?
took Clarand out for a meal.
Ah,
Oh, are you two on better terms now?
I wouldn't say that.
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, Clarand gave testimony on my father's behalf. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time. So we took the chance to reconcile with each other.
At least you guys finally took the lead.
Paimon also thought Clarand wasn't actually a bad person.
Yeah.
It's always good to have more friends.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public consciousness.
It's gonna take a
Actually,
while.
There's still one last thing I need to do.
What is it?
Visit your father's grave?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave.
Yeah.
And tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how it all ended.
And
Yeah,
on
he
top
deserves
of
that much.
just how much people still look up to him, to this day. That includes me, too.
Miss Navia.
Oh, you simp.
Indeed.
Yeah, can I come too? So far, we've only seen Mondstadt having
I
graves.
think Callus is a really admirable person.
Yeah, he had an eye patch. That's
Sure thing.
cool.
I'd like you two to share
He
the
actually
moment with
needed
me.
it, unlike Fischl,
After
probably.
all, without you, there might not have been such a positive ending.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach Poisson before dark.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few days now.
Ah, Neuvillette, you've been sad for this long? No, Neuvillette.
This is where my father's grave is. To be perfectly honest, even I haven't been back here for a long time.
Huh? There's someone there already. Wait,
Is it Clorend?
that figure. It can't be.
Or Neuvillette?
Isn't that Neuvillette? Why
Oh,
would the
there are
Chief
lots of
Justice
other
be
graves.
here?
Hmm.
Huh? Navia?
Yeah, he does feel
My
bad about not
apologies.
stepping in.
I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown, but still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette.
So
In any
you know that
case,
he's probably
why
not
did you
human?
come to Poisson?
To pay his respects,
Well,
like he said.
Ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice
Oh,
anyway?
you're trying to understand why the
There was once a
Oratrice
time
broke.
when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably
I
more
guess
truthful
everyone
to say
in
I didn't
Fontaine
believe humans
knows
were
that
capable
Neuvillette
of
probably
resisting
isn't
the most
human.
basic instinct of living things, that they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important than their own lives.
Don't you know
Which
that's
is also
basically
why I
what
didn't
all
stop your
humans
father
are,
from beginning that
irrational.
fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival. But Mr. Callus proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day.
I mean, if you've talked to
Mr.
Venti and
Callus
he'd
made
tell
the
you
choice he
that
did for his daughter,
friend also
for his
died for
associates,
a
for
better,
many
for
people
the greater
completely
good,
unrelated
for
to
a
him.
cause.
And in the end, from a certain
I'm
perspective,
sorry if I keep mentioning Venti, but
one could
he's
say
like
that he
my
did it
main.
all
I can't
for the
not
sake
mention
of
him.
Justice. A justice that's higher than life itself. So, you asked me why I came here. I
You're
just
trying to
wanted to
find
say my
answers?
apologies to Mr. Callus in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days.
So I guess that confirms
high
it.
and
You are
mighty
the
chair
Hydro
in the
Dragon
opera
that's
epic
making
dress
it
indeed
rain.
insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
Aren't you gonna thank me?
I'm sorry
She couldn't
for
have
being
done
mad
all
at
of
you
this without
before.
me.
So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh?
Kinda like your
That
dad,
reminds me
maybe?
of Silver. One of my guys.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about
The
that.
simp.
Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say you
Understandable.
don't need to apologize?
Ah, so Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's
Good
not
for them.
disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done.
Okay. Oh.
Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude there?
Is this a thing in Tevat? Not flying around?
Paimon didn't know that was a thing.
Are we just messing with her?
She can't fly.
No, don't put your feet on the ground. That's just a cursed image.
Anyway, Neuvillette is still
We're just
standing
messing
around
with her.
there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit? If we can't talk to Lady Farina, we can at least talk to him, right?
Yeah, he might know something about Ether. You know, the whole reason why we came here in the first place. Hey, you know my brother? Do you know my brother,
Oh,
Neuvillette?
it's you two. Did Miss
Look, it's
Navia
finally
invite
stopped
you to come
raining.
pay
Yay.
your respects to her father?
Yeah.
We ran into Navi on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see, I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Yeah, have you seen someone who looks like me but gender bent?
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this since you're usually super busy. So we figured we could try to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
Yeah, about my brother.
Your sibling. Another blonde-haired traveler.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description.
I'm guessing you're not 500 years old
If he
then?
ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera Epicles.
Okay.
Is there
Sounds like my
anything
goody
else you'd like
two-shoes
to ask
brother.
me about?
You know, the one who started the abyss.
My apologies. My investigation has still not reached its conclusion.
So he's still in
However,
jail?
I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
Huh?
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
Yeah, he's not behind the
For many
serial
years,
disappearance
I have been
case.
quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case.
Yeah, sure.
As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of
Yeah,
justice
but it was
is
created by Furina. Are you
Not
sure
only
it's
can it
okay to
produce the
have that
incredible
much
power of
faith in something that Furina
but it
made?
likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness.
It's self-aware?
Which is all to say, I've been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So what is it aware of about Child that no one else is?
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information.
Okay.
Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though. The time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama.
You sound
While we do
so
intend
done.
to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede.
Oh, that's where we're going next, right?
If
According to
we
the
did
4.1
incorrectly
trailer.
convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed.
If you
by
give
the law.
him, can you compensate him non-monetarily?
He'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Yeah, that's what he wants. And try not to give him monetary compensation, because all of that money will just end up going into Zhang Li's pocket anyway.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Yeah, about the prophecy.
That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good.
Yeah, what sins?
Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
More or less.
That's right. It was Lenny that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to
Oh,
the
so
world
the
before she
former
passed
Hydro
away.
Archon made this prophecy.
Of the former Hydro Archon? Wow.
Did you know who the former Hydro Archon? Have you met?
Two parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs.
Sure.
Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been
Sorry to
collecting
believe.
information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Okay, I guess the last one is
So,
the Primordial Sea.
the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the Primordial Sea, but what is it really?
Yeah, what is it
Truthfully,
exactly?
that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most
Different
of
how?
Teyvat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh.
Okay.
So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that
Yeah,
kind of
why
water?
specifically Fontanians?
Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be
Maybe
frank,
that's
that
just its
also
way of
doesn't match my
protecting its own
understanding
people?
of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
No, that's pretty much it. No more questions.
Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you.
Same
It
here.
will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memoria.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Hyman thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off,
Yeah,
and so
true.
justice must work around the clock as well. This is merely the nature of a justice's work.
All right, you've got a point. Huh? Hyman just noticed that the rain has stopped.
You only noticed just now? Okay. Oh, and Neuvillette's gone. Navia, are you down here? No? Alright then. Yeah, so no more Archon Quest. But I will be doing the world quests and story quests offline, except maybe Linny's. I don't know. I'll see to that later. But until then, we will continue when 4.1 comes out and, you know, whatever happens next week. So, until next week then. Oh, I think this is the longest I've gone streaming. Well, goodbye. I hope you have a good day wherever you are, or a good night's sleep whenever you are. Goodbye. Bye bye bye. Bye bye. Bye. See you next